Hey guys, how you guys doing? Welcome to another episode. So we are basically just living the Minecraft life. As I said, we made a small little tower. We also found a village which will be expanding and we'll just be connecting our multiple landscapes that we have throughout our world. So yeah, as I said in every episode we're gonna talk about interesting things, and not just interesting things, but I wanna help everybody, and I wanna help everybody awaken. So we're gonna start by watching a short video of Eckhart Tolle. He is basically talking about how we are not our thoughts, and after that we'll just add on that video. We'll kind of give our opinion and so on.
When you completely identify with your form identity, the physical body, and even more importantly, the psychological form of you, the invisible you that consists of thought and emotion, the mental emotional, invisible mental emotional entity that is who you are on a certain level. When you're completely identified with every arising thought and every arising emotion and every arising reaction, that's ego. The complete identification with that is ego. But when there's no longer a complete identification, there's still form identity. You may experience thoughts arising without knowing why they suddenly arise. And yet, if there's even a slight awareness in the background that these are thoughts, you're not totally invested with your sense of self in every thought that arises. And if a thought that tells you something unpleasant about yourself or your life, certain judgment about my life, isn't it all so pointless now? It has come to this. Why do I have to deal with this again and again? Well, it's just not, there's no end to it. What's the point of it all? Why is it always me that has to do that stuff? Why, and then these thoughts perhaps have arisen in you for many years, periodically and irregularly. And suddenly you notice that these thoughts are arising that are telling you that you're not getting anywhere in your life, that most of your search and your activities have been futile. What have I got to show for it? Absolutely nothing have I got to show. What's with... Okay, and suddenly there's an awareness of these thoughts, and you might notice that these are thoughts that are not new. And so you're not totally invested in the thoughts. That means those thoughts that have certain judgments about your life, gradually they lose the capacity to make you unhappy because you don't completely believe in them anymore. They're recognized as thought patterns. Conditioned mind. And then after a while, they even subside. You have them less frequently. So it's no longer ego.
Yeah, so all credits to him. So he's basically talking about how we are not our thoughts, and the ego is us thinking that what we hear on the radio, which our thoughts are like a radio, is us. But when we don't identify with our thoughts, we notice that it's kind of like a program, like a radio. There's a repetition sometimes. You may get repetitive thoughts or patterns, as he said. And when you are aware of it, or when you observe your thoughts, that's when the real power of awareness flows through you. So yeah guys, this is something that can change your life and how you see life in general. We are all connected. When we fall in love with somebody, or when we feel a connection with somebody, that's the consciousness that we all have. But what divides us, or what divides the world, is our thoughts and all what is happening in our mind. So moving on from that, we need to understand that one of the most important things in our life is our habits. So there are various ways in which we can become more present, or we can connect with that energy, with that higher power of not identifying with our thoughts, not being our thoughts, and understanding that we are the awareness behind of it. If you can't meditate, pause every sip of coffee. So yeah, is enjoying the silence. The silence actually speaks back to you. If you can't pray, simply say thank you before every meal. If you can't manifest, enjoy what's already yours. If you can't journal, talk to yourself in the car. There's no spirituality rulebook. You'll show up for yourself in ways that feel good to you. Yeah, so this comes to show that we can enjoy life, and we just need to listen to that silence and not be identified with our opinions and our thoughts. And that's when you're actually gonna live life. And something very interesting that Eckhart Tolle said about Albert Einstein was that Einstein said, "I want to know the mind of God. The rest are details." What is the mind of God? Consciousness. What does it mean to know the mind of God? To be aware. What are the details? Your outer purpose and whatever happens outwardly. So he often communicates that life's purpose is for us to awaken. That's why there are difficulties in our life, and it's just looking for us to awaken and understand that about 90% of our suffering is more in our mind than the situation. So our suffering is more about our thoughts on the situation than the situation itself. So moving on from this, there's also something interesting, or in a way linked to creativity. In order to be more creative, instead of asking yourself, how can I create something new? Ask yourself, how can I change something old to make it feel new? So yeah, this is something that can change the way that you create, because it is reality. Like, a lot of things are already created, and we just have to look for things to apply these already created things in a different way. And to add on to this, although we think of creativity as creating something that is unique, most of it isn't. In fact, most of what we experience as being new is simply taking old stuff and remixing it in a fresh or unexpected ways. So yeah, this is very helpful, or this changed the way I see things, because it makes me motivated to take what's already there and changing it in a way that could help solve a problem. For instance, the only way you will ever awaken is through silence, not through analyzation of facts, not by sorting out good and bad, but through simple silence, letting go, letting go of all thoughts, all the hurts of dogmas and all concepts, letting go of everything. And a very good practice to keep you in the present moment is to understand that we're floating around the galaxy. Right now, as we're speaking, we're orbiting a star at 30 kilometers per second, which is 18.64 miles per second. We're also orbiting the center of the galaxy at 250 kilometers per second, which is 155 miles per second. And the galaxy is moving through the universe at a rate of 600 kilometers per second, which is 372 miles per second. So as we're speaking, as you're listening to this, everything is moving, and that should bring you into the present moment, that nothing really matters in a way. The highest meditation is to think of nothing. If you can remain 1 minute without thought, great power will come. So yeah, this adds on the idea of the importance of not thinking and being connected with the present moment. It's like a superpower we all have, and we should use it because it brings you closer to that good energy and that creativity and that amazing way of thinking